listeners. I'm your host, Avik, and today we are going to talk about something that's both revolutionary and deeply human, like how plant medicine is helping couples rediscover the love, connection, and healing where traditional therapy has failed. Yep. So we live in a time where success often costs us our sanity, where marriages crumble under stress, emotional disconnection, and unhealed pain. But imagine if there was a way not just to um, patch things up, but to reignite the soul of the relationship itself. So, my guest today, dear listeners, please welcome Andrew Tansil. So, welcome to the show, Andrew.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate it.
Amazing. Dear listeners, like before we start, I'll quickly love to introduce it. Andrew. So Andrew has done exactly that. So once a burned out roofing contractor, his personal healing journey through the legal psychedelic therapy in Mexico didn't just transform his own life, but it sparked a global movement. And today he is the founder of Sayulita Wellness Retreat, a luxury medically supervised plant medicine center. Andrew and his team has guided over 1,000 successful treatments, transforming marriages and also helping people become the whole again. So his retreats combine ancient indigenous wisdom with the modern medical supervision in a setting that feels more like the transformation than the therapy. So I'll not take much of your time. Andrew, it's a really uh, pleasure to have you here on Healthy Mind, Healthy Life. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks. I'm excited to be here. Excited to talk about this too.
Amazing. Yeah. So Andrew, like as you're running a successful roofing business, but underneath the surface, things were falling apart. So what was the breaking point? I mean, breaking point moment, I would say, where you realized that something had to change, not in business, but in you.
Yeah, so I've struggled for like 10 years with mental health issues, and um, I was basically just like, I had the business automated, had a manager, and so I was just like laying in bed in my house basically, and that was almost like a year and a half or 2 years of doing that, and then my parents were like obviously worried about me, and I remember they came and saw me one day, and um, my dad, he was like sitting on my bed and like he's a really, solemn man, didn't express a lot of emotion. And he said, I don't want to lose my son. Like, can you please like get up and get out of this and at least like go to the hospital and like get some help, do something. And he was crying and like that burned me down. I realized like, I had to, if I was gonna do something for myself, I'd do it for somebody else. And that kind of just got the fire started, and it got me just kind of motivated to start investing in myself and doing things for myself. And and a lot of the stuff I tried is like, you know, pharmaceuticals and just like a lot of just like meditation and stuff. It didn't really help a whole lot, but it eventually led me to doing this experience with psychedelics in Mexico, and it actually like cleared the slate, if that makes sense. Where like within like a couple weeks of doing this, like I had peace again. And so that motivated me to like do something as far as like make a change. And, like I was in the States, basically tapping into every single resource when it comes to like mental health solutions. And then like this random thing in Mexico worked that I answered an Instagram ad for, So I wanted to create like an opportunity for other people to access the same type of medicine, same type of treatment.
Got it. Understood. So, like, yeah, I mean, when you finally decided to fly to Mexico during the chaos of COVID, what was going through your mind? I mean, the fear, curiosity, desperation, or faith. I mean, if you can share.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people that go through like mental health struggles, they just give up all the time. Like, cause like, like something doesn't work, you kind of give up. Something doesn't work, kind of give up. And so I was kind of like, at that zero expectation place, just, neutral to like things even working for me. So I really didn't have a lot of expectations, like going into it. And, just like anything, you just kinda hope that it helps, because like, that's usually what something does. It kinda gives you maybe 1 or 2 steps. So I was hoping that it would help, and, obviously, like, everybody's nervous going into this type of experience because it's something that's really different. It's kind of it's cool, it's cutting edge, it's interesting, it's unique, but it's always a little bit scary. And like, I say that to this day after, even doing like, more experiences, having more familiarity with psychedelics in like therapeutic setting. That's a very normal feeling. So that's coming in like some hope and nervousness was definitely how I felt.
Yeah. Hmm. So, okay. And I mean, it's really powerful because I think so many people listening can relate to that, the feeling of being trapped by your own success. And it takes kind of tremendous courage to admit that you are not okay, especially in the industries that glorify uh, toughing it out.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I knew that for years. Like, and I did contracting for a couple years and then 2 years of roofing, and I remember I gave the company to my business partner because like I just wasn't happy doing it. And then literally like 3 weeks later, he gave it back. He's like, "This is a lot of stress. Like, I don't want to deal with this." And I was just like, I was like, "Dang!" Like, I just yeah, basically I got back into it again. And then I did like another 2 years, and it was kind of at a place where I was like, "I can't," I was like, "I just can't keep doing this." Like, it's offensive to my soul, or just like what it was like, it's not something that's fulfilling to me. And like I had to turn the page, and like it was just like it was just it kind of the pain and suffering just kind of brings you to a place of honesty sometimes. And and I knew I had to do something different. So that's why like I wanted to make a change.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. So like I mean, let's talk about the first psychedelic experience. For someone who's never tried the plant medicine, it can sound mysterious also, or even intimidating as well. But what actually happened in that moment that shifted everything for you?
Well, like from my personal experience, I think I saw a lot of uh the things that had like led me to my suffering in a sense. Were innocent enough just in my life, but just learning how things affect you like long term, how decisions affect you, and um how to understand, how you even get to a place like that. And so I think that was important as part of my journey, is to like make more clear decisions with myself and make decisions that are like in the point of positivity, and just be consistent like that. Cause like you build a stronger foundation when you do that. And then, um, you know, I think the the biggest breakthrough is just experiencing my own divinity. Like you experience like divinity uh in a psychedelic experience, and like I went to church for like 18 years of my life, and like I never had like an experience as profound as that. And so I think it was that experience of knowing that strength, knowing that divinity inside myself, and knowing what the capacity of that is, like that gave me clarity on like a life of purpose, in the sense of like, if I have that much love and power and and uh and like knowingness inside myself, then I should be able to do anything. And so it kind of bolstered my beliefs and like moved me into a direction where I could see like a clearer path for myself that was going to be an integrity. It's going to be closer to like what's gonna actually make me happy. And so like those 2 steps like really kind of led to it. And it's with most psychedelic experiences, it's usually 2 steps. It's usually learning something, letting go of emotions, and then like a bright new future, a bright new like pathway in life, essentially. So that was my experience.
That's interesting. So, like, was there a specific realization or maybe the emotional release that made you see that your life and your relationship differently?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I was a different person coming out of it, a completely different person. Like I knew that like half my stuff had been taken from me. And so like I was just bright-eyed and like ready to ready for anything in the world. I was happy I was 37 at the time. I was happy for the first time in my 30s after this happened. And, I was like in a place where like my mind was empty. Like I didn't have any thought. And so I was like, I could stay like this forever, which is great. But like my intuition is like, you should probably, build something up, like, build up your life, build up your mind, not just stay in that state. And so I started like intentionally building my mind back up. It's like you suffer from mental health for like a long time, like your beliefs kind of change, your other things like start changing inside your subconscious thinking. And then like I had this clear slate. So I started like intentionally building things like, patience, like confidence, charisma, like other aspects that I think would be really useful and fun to have inside myself. And I would like I kind of built my mind like a business, the way I know how to build business. And so I would build and integrate things like week after week, and I'd work on something different each week. And so that was like that was like the new direction I started to think in and live in after going through like that therapeutic experience.
Yeah. So, like most of the people go on a retreat and come back inspired. Uh, but you went healed and then built a multi-million dollar wellness empire out of it. So, what made you believe that this could be more than a kind of personal story and it could be a kind of movement?
Well, I mean, I don't think anybody starting a movement is trying to make a movement. you know, um, I knew two things. I knew this thing worked for me, and I knew like business, and I knew marketing. I knew how like I did events in my 20s for like 7 years. And so, and I had an agency before this, consultant for agencies, marketing agencies. And so it was like, I knew that like I had the qualities and the skills to like launch a business like this. And I knew that whatever just happened to me worked. And I had no idea if this would work for anybody else. And so, like, launching this, like, in the early phases was just, like, learning about, like, what happened for me and seeing if we can create it for other people. And so that was, like, the first quarter of doing this, and, like, we had clients within, like, 2 weeks or something, and it worked for them. The first guy was a doctor. He was a surgeon from, like, Peru. He lived in, Texas, and he had a profound experience. He was able to let this fear go. Like, he had, lost one of his, patients, and he was just kinda holding on to this, and he was able to just move forward in his life and kind of let go of depression, start spending time with his family. And, I think just seeing this work was like motivation to keep doing that, if that makes sense. And then over the first year and a half, learning how to really get results, like learning how to take like my experience that, is crystallized inside my head, and then how do we creatively predict that for other people? Like, how do we create a program, a platform, and people that are going to help people find that at like over 80% success rate? And so that was like the scientific part of like understanding this is learning what really works and what gets results, and then making sure that like we have a safe space to do that. And so that's how this evolved. And like and like every business has goals, but like, when you start, you're just learning. You're learning, especially in new industries. So just learning and building, and that's like that's how my mind works. And so, we got here because like, just I think we've gotten good at it. And so I'm happy about that.
Yeah. No, I totally agree on this. Yeah. And I mean, that's such a kind of remarkable business evolution. I mean, it's not just a kind of pivot, it's a paradigm shift. And you didn't just build a company, you build a container, I mean, for healing. And it shows like how personal transformation can literally become a business model that changes the lives. So that's very important. Yep.
Yeah.
And also, like, do you think that this breakthroughs happen because of the medicine itself, or the safe space and the intention you created around it?
I mean, it's the medicine for sure. Like you've got to have the safe space, and you've got to have uh, people to set up, you know, the experiences in the right way. And you've got to have integration. You've got to have people prepared to understand what they're going to go through, because there's certain understandings you can have to be prepared for an experience like this. And so there's a lot of education. We have a course. We have like, all this onboarding stuff to do. And it's like all this homework, all these things like to change with your diet, to change with your routine, to get into a headspace where you're going to be ready to transform. And so, all that stuff's essential. But like at the end of the day, like, like we get out of the way for that medicine to work, and it's beautiful and it's miraculous the way that it works. And so, I think both are essential. Both are essential. Um, and it's saying which was more important. Like to me, the medicine is doing the work, and we're getting ever prepared for it. You know what I'm saying? That's my perspective on it.
Okay. Okay. Amazing. Wow. And so, like, looking ahead, where do you see the future of legal psychedelics therapy going? I mean, especially for the couples and the families who are struggling in the silence.
Say that again. Like, what is the future
Yes. What is the future? Yeah.
of what exactly?
Oh, yeah. I'm saying like when you look back or when you look ahead, right? Where do you see the future of legal psychedelic therapy going?
Oh, for sure. I mean, obviously integrated with cultures that have significant mental health issues, because it is like a viable solution when it comes to the whole spectrum of solutions out there. And so, as things develop and people become more wise to like what this experience looks like and like what the potential of it is and how to do it safely, it's obviously going to be integrated in like our culture because there's going to be a high demand for it, or at least a demand for it. And so the demand is going to create a presence for it to be utility, as far as helping with mental health issues and other issues too, because there's a lot of physiological stuff that it helps with, like TBIs. Like they're doing ibogaine research for Parkinson's and like other neurological disorders and stuff like that. So, it'll be integrated with culture, and then different like access points for to like receive its benefits, or whether it's like some people obviously use like ketamine and mushrooms like recreational use, but like therapeutic and platforms will just continue to develop, whether it's in the states, like hopefully, right? But certainly in like countries that have um more or less legal restriction than the United States, and so it'll continue to develop, um and like we'll get better at like delivering it, getting better at understanding it, getting better at using it to really change lives.
Got it. Got it. Amazing. Lovely. So, Andrew, I mean, this conversation has been masterclass, I would say, and um, for both the personal and the professional sides as well. So, for everyone who is listening, maybe this is your invitation to stop surviving and start surrendering to the healing, like whether through the movement therapy or the plant medicine. The path isn't about the escape, but it's all about the embodiment. So, Andrew, if someone wants to connect with you, what will be the great medium to connect?
Yeah, just Sayulita Wellness Retreat.com, or find us on Instagram, YouTube.
Uh-huh. Okay, okay. So, what I'll do is, dear listeners, I'll put all the links into the show notes for easy reference so that you can easily reach out to Andrew. And with this hope, until next time, stay open, stay aware, and stay alive. Do the love. So, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Amazing.